Nat 20. Hello adventurers, Merlin here, bringing you another Dungeons & Dragons adventure video. So we're kicking off a brand new delivery and we have a continuation of our sea adventure. We got the last 3 parts of that over these 4 issues, plus our return to dry land. So as usual, we'll have loads of awesome information inside the magazines, ready to help improve our D&D adventuring. And of course we've got dice, and I must admit, as I said in my unboxing, all of these are amazing dice sets. Really nice. So, let's kick things off with issue 31. So in issue 31 then, we have of course brand new exclusive adventure, the first of a 3-parter. We set sail, so we learn a bit more about what it is to live at sea. We also learn how to draw towns and villages in the next part of our map making article. We also have some new oaths for the Paladin, and we have 6 ways to solve arguments as a team. So as I said, we get 4 sets of dice in this delivery, but they are all equally amazing quality sets. And our first set is this, a rather premium looking green set. So yeah, another set of these lovely premium dice, and it is in a tin. So we've got the D&D Adventurer logo there. And yeah, really cool. I love these. Nice marbled effect to them. And yeah, really easy to read numbers and a lovely silver printing there on the engraved detail. Really fantastic. So we'll give them a couple of rolls in just a sec. But before we jump over the table, don't forget to, of course, do all the usual. Like this video if you are enjoying the content, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and drop me a comment down below. Are you looking forward to future content, especially now that we know things are changing for the better? Finally then, there's all the links in the video description down below, including the Mad Merlins Patreon, where you can get special access to these videos early, and plenty more content besides. I'm working on improving what I'm doing at the moment on there. There'll be a few polls for Patreon exclusive content, so if you want to help shape the future of the channel, that's the place to be. So without further ado, let's hop over to the table and dive into issue 31. So here we are, all up close and personal with issue 31. So we've got that beautiful set of dice there. As you can see, it's a lovely green and marbled black set. And yeah, that silver lettering detail really does pop quite nicely. We'll take those out and roll them in just a sec. So I'll move the dice tray out of the way. Let's have a closer look at the front cover, as it wasn't all that clear in the intro. But yeah, so we've got our new exclusive adventure. We set sail, so we learn all about the life at sea, what it means to have a crew and a ship, etc. Learning the ways of mapping out towns and villages. We have 3 new oaths for the Paladin to choose from. And we also have an article focusing on how to solve arguments with your party. So yeah, some really helpful articles in this issue. So we'll take a look at that in just a sec. So first up, let's roll those dice. So here they are, took them out of the bag. Let's flip out the plastic lid, and yeah, you can really see the detail on those dice. Look fantastic. So let's get these out and give them a couple of rolls just to see how well they actually roll. Oh, geez, snug fit. So it just goes to show you they use the same foam for all sizes of dice. Right then. What do we got? We got 14 on the D20, not bad. 5 on the D8, and 8 on the D12, 10 on the D10 there, 5 on the other D10, a 5 on the D6, and only a 1 on the D4. Nice mixed bag of results there. Let's give them an actual roll for second. See if the luck has worn off. 12 on the D12. Oh, a nat 1 on the D20. Not nice. But yeah, a mixed bag. But yeah, these dice are really great. Regardless, I mean, I love the dark green and the black there, the silver, the D&D and there is really nice and clear on the 20. So pretty. I'll look at the D6 there in detail. Such nice printing. And yeah, I must admit, though I'm not the biggest fan of green, these dice are really growing on me. So yeah, I'm definitely thinking of using these for a future character. Alright, that's the dice rolled. Let's bring in the issue and take a look at all our new articles. Right then, full contents for the issue. So we have Adventure Free Mission Encounter 31, Temple of Sekolah, Part 1. So for the sage advice, we have a page for the overview all about group cohesion, and 2 pages of DM, so making maps Part 4, looking at villages and towns, and we have the sea. So for character creation then, we have 3 new class pages for the Paladin of different oaths, so Oath of Ancients, Vengeance, and Redemption. Finally then, 1 page for the lore, which we have a look at monsters and the all-encompassing name of beasts. So with the 31st issue of Dungeons & Dragons Adventurer comes with a set of green dice that would make the Green Knight Paladin proud. Keep them in the accompanying tin. And of course, you got your QR code for D&D Beyond there. Alright, let's get started and taking a look at our first page, so group cohesion. Cut back a conflict and collaborate with your fellow players to improve your D&D experience. So yeah, this is something my current party don't do too well. We don't cohese very well. We sort of have our own mini groups within the group, but when it comes to the fighting, we do work well together as a team, but it's more the social interactions that we don't have much of a cohesive ability with. But yeah, so this goes over what it means about working together well as a team, making sure you avoid conflict when and where possible. A couple of top tips here. So one all about session 0 and how to use that, and making sure you know your players' characters and then there's nobody acting as a complete jerk for any reason other than actually meaning to be in character. And yeah, another top tip, so some groups love in-character conflict and can separate an in-world drama from real-world animosity. So yeah, another thing to be cautious of going from the get-go. So do discuss before deciding. Make sure everyone's on the same page. I'm usually the sort of voice of reason and will gather everyone's decisions and we'll go from that for my party. Do get immersive. Don't be afraid to delve deep into your characters. Of course, your DM will reward you if you play particularly well as your character. So inspiration is always fun. I had 2 points of inspiration for the adventure. One I used to crack open a box and steal a magic item. And the other I used to triple shot at a sea hag with my crossbow. So yeah, pretty cool. Another thing is, so we've got a couple of don'ts next. So don't metagame. So this is where you're using your real world knowledge of the rules to your in-game advantage. If you do use this or find you are using this, your DM might punish you for it. So just be careful. But yeah, it is hard when you play and so many games at once and also know the rules of being a DM. So yeah. Don't be an alpha. It's easy to have one character who's a leader, but perhaps don't have one that is first into everything. We don't really have a collective leader. We all like to take advantage of things. My high armor. We have a couple of very sneaky characters who like to make sure they scout ahead of the main party, and we do have, of course, half-orc who likes to get stuck into a fight. And finally then, do be a good sport. So yeah, show courtesy, work well with both your DM and your fellow players. Moving on, we got our next page in making maps. This time we're looking at villages and towns. So when the characters arrive in a new village or town, a map can help the players and you, the DM, orientate yourselves. So yeah, another page for this article. So we go over making sure we have semi-detailed maps. So you might want to have a overview of the general town and then perhaps maybe a closer up map of specific areas. Also think where this settlement is going to be located in the wilderness. Is it situated along the banks of a river, close to a forest, or high in the mountains? So, nice couple of top tips here for the DM to look at and think about for when making maps. And we've got some example maps here as well. So, Iron Slag here. We got Green Fast and the Red Larch surroundings. So, nice little surrounding area. So, there's Red Larch, the main town in the centre there. And then we've got some different areas surrounding it that you see there. And here we have Green Fast. So, we got a village that's nestles on the bank of a river. Most of the main buildings in the village are protected by palisades and high defences. Mostly protect from flooding, most likely, and raiders, but we do have some smaller buildings down on the roadside. Yeah, and Iron Slag looks more like a sort of a city built into a mountain there. It looks pretty cool. Next up then, we have a look at the sea. So, hoist the sails, weigh anchor, and learn how to run an adventure out on the open waves. So yeah, we've been playing through some pretty ocean-based adventures recently, and now we have a nice little article all about how the sea can work and affect the game. So typically characters will be travelling either by boat or ship. Not ideal that you swim across the sea. So you can, of course, own a ship. So sailing a ship will require 20 skilled hirelings to run it, which will require a larger warship will require 60. You will, of course, need to pay your crew at 2 gold pieces per day per crew member to keep them happy and as loyal as possible. So you also got to think about your cargo capacity, how much you can take. So a small galley can take 150 tons worth of cargo, whereas a longboat may only hold 10 tons. So yeah. Then we got all about damaging a warship here, so very helpful. Navigation, so whether it's easy to navigate from your ship or not. The visibility, so this will be weather dependent usually. On a calm sea on a clear day, you can see 10 miles from the crow's nest. Reduced to 5 miles if the skies are overcast, and worse depending on the weather, of course. Speaking of weather, we have a weather table here. Civil D20, 1 to 14, normal, 15 to 17, 1d4 times 5 degrees Celsius colder than normal. On an 18 to 20, it's 1d4 times 5 Celsius higher than normal. And for the wind, so 1 to 12, nothing. 13 to 17, it's light wind. 18 to 20, strong. And precipitation, or precipitation, 1 to 12, none. 13 to 17, light rain or snow. 18 to 20, heavy rain or snow. And of course, there's a chance of a shipwreck. So nice little article there covering the importance of making sure you do avoid danger when out on the open sea. Up next then, we start looking at 3 new oaths for the Paladins. So this is the Oath of Ancients. The Green Knights who swear this oath are champions of nature's majesty. So if you think that nature is just for a druid or a ranger, you are quite mistaken. Paladins who swear the oath of the ancients will uphold the natural order of things over all else. So your worship and delight in nature celebrates its vitality and light. You will also, of course, possibly worship a nature deity. You'll adorn your armor and clothing with images of growing things, so leaves, antlers, and flowers. And you may even decorate your shield with a set of antlers you have found. It's up to you to root out corrupt and evil that would destroy nature, such as fiends, undead, and evil fays. So benefits of this: by taking the Oath of Ancients, your spells and abilities look at the best partner with nature. So you get the Channel Divinity ability, Nature's Wrath, summons vines to hold your enemies. Likewise, you have Ensnaring Strike, which is a little more aggressive version of the Nature's Wrath. So the vines will restrain and even damage those that they constrict. Other spells you can get are Speak with Animals, so it's very handy to help get information from the wilds, creatures, or even just pass on your stories. Things to think about for role-playing an Oath of Ancients Paladin: you may already have strong ties to nature as an elf, dwarf, and gnome. Your love for beauty of nature may give you an appreciation to all things beautiful, loving, or kind. Think about the deities you follow. So Soon is the goddess of love and beauty, Sylvanas, the god of wild nature. You might also follow more specific aspects of nature. So Selûne, the goddess of the moon, which is my goddess I follow as my cleric. Umberlee, goddess of the wrathful sea, or Miliki, the goddess of forests. So yeah, thinking of how to decorate your armor and stuff as well. So when it comes to your weapons and armor, you likely adorn these with icons and emblems of nature, perhaps wrapping your sword with decorative mistletoe, or adorning your helmet with horns and antlers. Finally, then we got a few influences, so some really nice ones here. So when it comes to the champions of nature, there is of course the literal Green Knight from Arthurian legend, seen in the 2021 film with the same name. You might also look at other figures that either defend or embrace nature, especially zealot extent, so Poison Ivy from Batman, Radagast from Tolkien's Legendarium, Johnny Appleseed from American folk history. There's also the Haga cult from the film Midsummer. Next up then we have the Oath of Vengeance. So everyone has their enemies. Paladins who have sworn this oath will not allow theirs to go unpunished. So yeah, having an Oath of Vengeance, you are bound to hunt down and defeat a particular enemy, somebody perhaps that's wronged your family, or you don't like simply your sense of the world. So yeah, you'll do anything in your power to take this nemesis down. So benefits: your oath spells allow you to better single out and unnerve your opponents, so you gain Bane, so you can target foes taking a save from your fearsome presence. You also get Hunter's Mark, which lets you do extra damage when you hit a specific marked foe. At 3rd level, your Paladin's Channel Divinity grants you aggressive powers with Abjure Enemy. A creature that fails a saving throw becomes frightened of you, unable to move, and the Vow of Enmity. You can target an opponent and gain advantage. Thinking of role-playing your Vengeance Paladins? So not all Paladins need to be lawful good. However, as the Oath of Vengeance Paladin, you are a punisher of evil acts, and so are certainly good in alignment. You can also be lawful, even if that law is strictly that of your church or order, or simply your own rigid moral code. So yeah. Couple of deities to think about as well, so Tyre or Behemoth. When it comes to the arms and equipment, you might select those that cultivate more fearsome appearance, wear dark hooded cloaks, throwing knives or crossbow bolts etched with the symbol of your deity, leave calling cards for other evildoers to find. Also consider what started you down the path of vengeance when you're thinking of playing your character. So influences then: So we've got some really good ones here. So the Princess Brides, Inigo Montoya, the Count of Monte Cristo, Robin Hood as well, depending on the story. For darker figures, think of the taxi drivers Bickle or Judge Dredd. And of course, Paladins are named Dark Knights, so who can forget Batman? Moving on then, our final new oath is the Oath of Redemption. These optimistic paladins hold out possibility of hope for even the foulest of villains. So yeah, the people who follow this oath will look at trying to find the good in everybody. So you may have once been wicked, come from wicked intent, but through your actions have found yourself redeemed. As an Oath of Redemption paladin, you believe that all others have the same capacity of atonement as well. So what are your beliefs? Core tenets involve choosing violence as a last resort. The intelligent beings do not begin life as evil, and whatever the course of their lives, they retain the capacity to return to goodness. So, oath benefits then. Your oath spells help you in your efforts of protecting lives. So, Sanctuary is a pretty good one, giving you protections to targets. There's ways you can diffuse situations, such as the sleep spell, putting a bustling combatant to sleep and then be able to restrain him afterwards. Channel divinity abilities, so you get Emissary of Peace, you gain bonus to your charisma persuasion skills. And you can also rebuke the violent as well, which is very handy. So role-playing an Oath of Redemption Paladin, your chosen background might be religious in nature, such as Acolyte, or even martial, such as a soldier, starting you down a path of a Paladin. However, instead you might have been a charlatan or criminal, and through redeeming yourself have chosen to help find redemption for others. When it comes to arms and equipment, you favour non-lethal gear as much as possible. You might employ nets and magical ropes of entanglement, such as the one here. Also remember, delivering an otherwise fatal blow in combat, you have the option to knock your opponent out instead. Finally then, some influences. So aside from real-world religions and concepts of forgiveness, there are numerous examples of redemptive arcs in speculative fiction. Consider the Hound from Game of Thrones choosing a different, more peaceful path for himself, or at least for a time. Or even Luke Skywalker, able to hold out hope for the redemption of his father, one of the most brutal tyrants in the galaxy. In fact, most superheroes intentionally choose to capture rather than kill, imprisoning their foes so as to leave open the chance for their redemption. Of course, as well as their inevitable escape. Finally then, before our adventure, we have a page all about beasts. During your adventures, you'll meet animals, you'll meet giant animals, and you might even meet dinosaurs. Let's take a closer look at the nature of the beast. So yeah, we have quite a good selection here of creatures. So the Forgotten Realms is populated with a vast menagerie of creatures, from small pixies to mighty dragons, with every owlbear, golem and minotaur skeleton in between. So yeah, as a type, beast not only includes animals, so lions, tigers and bears, not to mention badgers, bats, boars and pretty much anything else, but also include giant versions of these animals. As you can imagine, giant spiders and scorpions are pretty nightmarish, but giant wasps, centipedes, rats and frogs bring a new level of terror. So it also mentions about taking particular care in the jungle lands occult, as this is home to dinosaurs. So classic beasts, as we can see here, we have a lion. That's either a very big lion or that is a very small elephant. But yeah, pretty cool. So, beastly encounters. Beasts will be encountered wherever such animals make their habitat. Bears and owls in the forest, lions and goats in mountains, octopus crabs on the coastlines and seas, etc. Also consider that some beasts are found in cities and settlements as well. So yeah, as with any other creature, beasts have their own individual stat block when encountered. So these will be used by a DM or even perhaps a druid who has the ability to control a creature. So magic and spell casting, remember beasts can also be used as allies, guides, spies or even defenders. A number of spells more rapidly available to druids, rangers and bards can help you interact and recruitment. So speak with animals, animal friendship and even dominate beasts. Alone in the forest, conjure animals can summon spirits that will take the form of beasts, which might be 8 wolves, 4 war horses, or a single polar bear. Number of magic items can also bring nature to your side, so you might come across a potion of animal friendship or rings of animal influence. Finally, inspirations. Fantasy and beasts have long been entwined, going back to the legends of Hercules and beyond. For inspiration using beast in your game, you might consider the Clash of Titans, the 1981 version, the Jungle Book, or the Terror of Both Giant Insects and Dinosaurs, 2005's Peter Jackson's Kong. And who can of course forget the 1982 film The Beastmaster. So yeah, cool dinosaur riding there. Finally then, we have our encounter for the issue. So, encounter free, adventure free, even, encounter 31. So this is an extended quest. This begins a three-parter set in the underwater Temple of Sekolah in the Swaggin city of Kresolak. The second and third parts are in 32 and 33. So 4 to 5 hours for this three-part encounter, balanced with third level characters. Background of the encounter. The adventurers have sailed to the Moonshade Isles from Neverwinter in search of lost treasure of Devil's Dew, a ship that sank in the Sea of Moonshade several decades ago. And Stonecliffe, advisor of Lord Dagout Neverember, has asked the characters to recover one item from the Horde. The Cloven Scepter, an evil artifact from the cult of Orcus, is desperate to be obtained, so he can destroy it. The rest of the loot is theirs to keep. Sailors in the city of Narhelm have told the characters the Devil's Dew fell prey to Swaggin from the underwater city of Kresolak, and they later learned that Lanea Arloro, a Leawir elf, that its cargo is likely to be found in the treasury of the Temple of Sekolah. Friendly merfolk living in the Bay of Norland have provided the adventurers and magic items that allow them to breathe underwater and grant them a swimming speed to aid in their quest. The Temple of Sekolah is a dangerous location, guarded by Swaggin and protected by deadly traps. But they are also potential allies within the characters can call upon for aid. So the goal is to recover the scepter, other lost treasure from the temple, and make their escape. So we start our encounter. We have a giant jawbone of an enormous shark as an entranceway there that we go through. We have the different features of the temple, even. So there's light, ceilings, curtains, furniture, and seaweed beds. And we've got a map here of the temple. So 1 square is 5 feet. We got a seaweed bed depicted like so. So there are a few. We have curtains depicted like so, and gateways in dotted lines. There's even a pool of jellyfish here to be aware of. So key locations, we have the entrance hall, there's the sleeping quarters, Zansaz's quarter, we have a prison cell, whirlpool trap, stinging jellyfish, and of course the chute down. So yeah, whether we've taken the chute or gone through, dragged into the whirlpool, we will move on to the next part of the encounter. And we have a few stat blocks for minor enemies, so crabs, dolphins, and even Swaggin and Swaggin Champion if we disturb them. So that's it for issue 31. I'll bring everything back in and give you my final thoughts on this issue. So there we have it, issue 31, and yeah, good adventures, some nice articles on how to add new elements such as at sea, as well as learning to work more as a team. Some nice new Paladin O's for you to choose from, some really nice ones there, and of course we learn all about beasts and the creatures of realms that can be useful to us, or even get in our way at times. But yeah, it's a really fun-filled issue, and we do have a rather pretty set of dice. The lovely green-black premium set here. We do get another marbled set in this delivery, which doesn't have the silver boarding, but is still a pretty nice little set anyway. And the next set we have are the Jade-like set, which come in another tin. And yeah, those are pretty cool, nice and mystical. And then finally, of course, issue 34 has probably the best set of dice we've seen so far, which are those awesome metal ones. Can't wait to roll them. So yeah, all in all, a pretty solid issue. Not terribly too much information. We are focusing a lot on expanded options, so the different oaths Paladins can swear, etc. Some nice new articles, as I said. The map making article is good. I really do wish though that they give us more of a tutorial on how to make one, perhaps showing us how to make a basic town of our own, which we can follow along at home. So perhaps maybe later on when we get notebooks, pencils and pens, etc., perhaps they'll give us some graph paper and a pencil set so we can sketch out our own map from like a tutorial page in an issue. That'd be quite nice. But yeah, it's fairly easy to do anyway. There's plenty of tutorials, I'm sure. So yeah, that's pretty much it. A solid 5 out of 5, I think, for this issue. Let me know what you thought of it in the comment section down below. And yeah, thank you all very much for watching. And until next time, keep rolling those crits.